What's the flowers? Write my name in the sand. Talk to myself for hours. Say things you don't understand. I can take myself dancing. Hello. Hi. Okay, so it is today, February 5th. I am pulling for the Leo full moon, which was exact, actually a little bit ago, like a little less than an hour ago. And I'm using the Arcane Bullshit deck and the Modern Witch Tarot deck, and I already have the Tower on the bottom, of course. Ha ha ha. I think a lot of us are going through major upheavals, which is interesting. Because, okay, so as I was shuffling the Arcane Bullshit deck, I also got some cards. So here's the Tower. Here we have the Tower from the Modern Tarot deck, and then also we have Master of the Hunt. Let's see, I'm doing both YouTube and the podcast right now, so I'm trying to get the glint off of the card. Super horny porno owl. So fun. Look at this fucking hourglass. And the decision maker. And they all just like flew out of there. Just so fun. I'm also getting the Ace of Wands, the King of Wands, hello Leo full moon, Death. Clearly we are in a time of decision making. Big changes. Shifting. We're shifting. It's a big shift. We're all taking a big shift. This reading might be a little crass. I'm not sure. We're like experimenting. It's my first reading of the year. I'm trying to like record on YouTube and stuff, and like I'm not used to recording my voice and the screen. So we're all trying new things. Oh, so I feel like this tower has been put off for a little while, and now we're kind of at this place where we can't put it off any longer if we want to have success and see success. Like, look at this fucking hourglass. Like, it's just, this already took a long time, and it's just gonna keep taking a long time. And you know that, like, if you don't let the tower crumble around you, you're screwed. So that's fun. And then I'm also, like, with the super horny porno owl and Master of the Hunt, I'm getting, like, maybe there are some people who you are interested in, or a person who you're interested in, who is, I want to use this word, manipulative, okay? And it's hard to let go of. It's like almost like an addiction. With the super horny porno owl, I'm getting like, yeah, like sex addiction is coming up. My throat chakra is going crazy right now because, I don't know, it was totally fine before, and now it's like, oh, you're talking? Okay, so we have the Ace of Wands and the King of Wands and Death, and I'm really getting this, like, I'm over it. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with this wand anymore. Like, I'm moving on. Like, I know who I am. I'm taking back my power. I don't need to give my power away to anybody. Especially no fucking Leo man. Okay. Someone didn't want me to say that. Alright. So, or like, someone with strong Leo placements. There's also like other fire placements. Aries and Sagittarius. But as a Leo, I'm like, who cares about them? Just kidding. I love them. We also have Death, which is fun. So there might be some Scorpio placements in the mix. But what I'm really getting is like the Scorpio, like the Pluto, the mysteries, the occult, the shadow work stuff coming up, where it's like this person really forced you to look at what's happening, and like your decisions, and what decisions you're making, and like how you are showing up in the world, and like how not only is this person manipulative, maybe you're also manipulative, and maybe there's like two can play at that game type of thing. And like, what are you like? Are you just this like, what are these guys called? Whatever, the like balloon guys. Like, are you just hanging out like, oh no, poor me. Please don't shoot me, Master of the Hunt. Please don't shoot me, Death. It's totally, I'm so helpless. I'll just deflate. But it's like setting yourself up for failure. So with the hourglass and the decision maker, we have this cutting of ties, right? Especially like with the Leo new moon, this is a great time to do cord cutting. And I don't know, I'm really getting Saturn vibes from this, where it's like, and I saw 555 on the clock when I said that, but I'm really getting Saturn vibes from this because it's like, it's going to take a long time, and it's going to take self-discipline, and change doesn't happen overnight. So like, we get to make our decisions for ourselves and freaking decide how we're showing up. Like, are we going to be this like helpless guy flopping in the wind and like let people take advantage of us? Or are we going to take back our power and be like, freaking hold our own wand? Really hold our own wand and be like, nah, I don't need to hold your wand anymore. Like, I'm the guy. I'm the dude. So we're breaking this cycle, this pattern, and it's really like we have no choice because we have the Tower here, and it's like we could prolong it, right? Look at this fucking hourglass. It's like, but we've prolonged it already enough, and we can see, and it's 11:22 in the morning. So we can see, like, oh my goodness, we can see where it's going. We've done this, been there, done that before, basically, and we're ready to move the fuck on. I think like there's somebody with like this like fire, like Leo, like energy who we are letting go of. And it's like a concrete decision. It's like, this is done. Look at how big my fucking scissors are. Like, I got my head on the crown. Like, I've made up my mind. I already know what's up. Like, I don't need to deal with this bullshit anymore. I'm moving on. Like, I'm ready to move on. Like, this chapter of my life is over, and it was over before, and I was pretending like it wasn't, because, like, the moment before we let go of things, we hold on really, really tight. So that's what we were doing for a little while. I mean, we were holding on tight, but like, look at this fucking hourglass. There's this hand here, and it's let go. And it's like, okay, like, I've spent my time doing this, and like, if I keep holding on, then I'm just gonna be buried in the fucking sand. There's a lot of death imagery here too. So like, clearly we're moving on. And it's, again, with the next chapter thing, there's this book on this hourglass, and I'm really getting this moving on to the next chapter. And also we get to write our own stories. And like, is that book gonna be friggin' smut? Is that what we're writing? Is that the story we're writing? Is that like the life that we want to live? Is like this fantasy life? Or do we want to get real, right? Do we want to cut ties with all that like entanglement, friggin' entangled mess, right? It's like, you could try to undo all of the knots and like get this string to straighten out, but it's like, why? Why? Where is the worth in that? It's like more effort than it's worth. So honestly, just get your big ass scissors and cut that bitch off. You don't need that anymore. You don't need that in your life anymore. Like, and also it's just like, we're gonna clear that out. So Oh, I would recommend doing some fire rituals. I'm about to go do that with my friend. We're gonna go do an effigy. We're gonna go burn some shit. And we're gonna go let go of all that stuff that is like holding us back and that is just weighing on us. And like we have all of this grief. There's death here, right? So there's grief. And we need to give space for that. We need to give grief space. Because otherwise it just gets suppressed and it turns into this bitter mess. So it's really important, like with this season of death and change, that we get to honor and appreciate that person that we were and recognize that like without that person we would not be on this next chapter, right? And so it's really important to like be appreciative and like loving and compassionate to that person that you were who was making those decisions, and let them go, right? Like, because we don't need to stay on the same chapter. Like, we're moving on. We get to write new stuff. We get to read new stuff. We get to experience new stuff. We're ready, for sure. We're ready. I'm gonna pull more from the Arcane Bullshit deck because I feel like it's really giving right now, and I love that. I'm getting back into my flow. I want to do this more. Okay, this one. Oh, of course, it's the king shit. Of course, it's the king shit. And we have the King of Wands here. Like, yeah, we're on our king shit. We're so done with giving up our power. We're so done with that. We're like, we don't need to act like that anymore. Like, we're the shit, and we know it. And I'm also getting, like, we don't let anybody else, like, shit on us. Like, oh, and there's a skull imagery here, too. Like, I'm also wondering if, we've been eating well. I think we're kind of getting this time where we might start to switch up our diets, and because our power like is in our belly, like that is our power center. That's where like the creative energy comes from, and it's also where all of our digestion happens, and like our gut rules like our emotions and how we are. So I really feel like that might be part of it, of taking back the power, is like looking at our diet and how we eat, which is really funny because I totally just ate like cream cheese toast and a chocolate muffin for breakfast, and I was like, this isn't great. This is not a good decision that I'm making. But anyway, I'm definitely looking at that now. Like my eyes are open to how can I serve myself better? How can I serve better food to myself, right? How can I serve better shit? How can I serve better shit to myself? So yeah, and then there's like the fuck you. There's like, fuck you. Like, I don't fucking need this bullshit. Like, I'm over it. That's not my shit. Is something that I've been saying a lot lately. And it's something that I keep hearing other people saying. Like, that's not my stuff. That's not mine. I don't need to hold that. Like, I don't need to hold other people's friggin' baggage. Because it's not my baggage. And also, guess what? They're not asking you to hold it. So, why do you keep picking up other people's shit? You don't need to do that. Unnecessary. Completely unnecessary. And you know that. And we're like ready to move on. We're like, okay, we don't need to do this anymore. I'm seeing clearly. I can see clearly now, the rain has gone. And we have 9 of Pentacles. We're like, we're good. We have our own friggin' harvest to reap. We're like planting our own flowers so that we don't just get to have them for a season. We're not waiting on other people to give us fucking flowers. Because guess what, bitch? We planted a garden and we're tending to it. We're nurturing it. We're nourishing it, right? We're giving it the nutrients that it needs. And we are paying attention to it. And that friggin' garden is our bodies and our lives. It's a metaphor. I love gardens as a metaphor for life. It's probably my favorite because there's so much life and death and pruning and all of that. Like, it's just plants and taking care of plants. They're like this alive thing that we take care of, and it reminds me that, like, we are part of nature. We also have the Page of Wands. Oh, shit. See how much I'm used to this. We also have the Page of Wands. That's so funny, because I feel like that's very, very much an example of, oh, like, I'm making mistakes. I'm hitting the microphone, I'm making mistakes, but I'm doing it. I'm doing the thing. And that's what's important. It's like, oh my god, that's so funny. We don't need no man type vibes. Like, I'm gonna go on this adventure myself. I'm gonna figure it out for myself. And you figure it out by, like, doing it. I was just talking about this earlier. It's like, I don't know how to do this, but you do it anyway, and that's how you learn. Because if you're like, oh, I don't know how to do that, I'm not gonna do that, you never fucking learn how to do it. Because you're just avoiding it. So we're like not doing that anymore. We're like, okay, you know what? Maybe I can try new stuff. Because obviously, all of this old stuff isn't friggin' working for me. All this old stuff does not serve me. And, like, I'm ready to plant it back into the earth. And I'm ready to, like, give it back up. Because I don't need it anymore. I'm ready to, like, burn that shit and use the ashes as fertilizer for my own plants. Right? My own growth. I'm ready to use the ashes of my old self for my new growth. Right? I'm also wondering if, like, we might want to go on a little trip. Maybe go on a little trip. A little pilgrimage. Somewhere new. And just kind of explore. And I'm saying that because, like, we have all of these wands here, and wands can indicate travel. And it can be very literal, and it can be very figurative. Either way you want to take it. But I think if you have strong fire sign placements, it might be time to take a little vacation somewhere. It doesn't have to be too far. But, like, maybe you're the type of person who doesn't travel a whole lot on your own, and it could be really good for you. It could be really good for you to reclaim that power. And, like, recognize how capable you are. Because you're totally capable. You got this. Like, you're doing so good. This is so good. This is some good shit right here. I'm eating this shit up. I love it. I'm like, I don't know about you, but, like, I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to fucking move on. I don't need the distractions. I don't need those distractions. And I'm ready to, like, make decisions over time and continue making them and have that self-discipline, right? And I'm done, like, with this Master of the Hunt. I'm done, like, taking the easy targets, right? I'm ready to challenge myself. I'm not, like, some kind of faker. Like, oh yeah, I'm so good at all of this because I'm, like, shooting down these things that are so easy. It's like, oh, what, you're an expert playing at beginner level? Why? Freaking boring. Boring. Again, been there, done that. What are you you're just trying to boost your ego? Trying to feed your ego? Doing easy shit? Why don't you challenge yourself? You can live up to those challenges. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna fail. We have to. We are flawed because we're human, and we're human because we're flawed. Like, we get to make mistakes and learn from them. That's the only way that you're gonna grow, is by making mistakes. That's the only way you're gonna have a fucking garden, right? Hello? Hello, what are you doing? Why are you sitting on your hands? Like, you're so scared. Oh, you're so scared. Oh, poor baby. Sorry, I'm being mean now. But for real, though, like, It's really important to be like, okay, I like sitting in that fear is not going to serve you. It's just going to be like, instead of like, oh, you're the king shit, it's going to be like, there's a fucking king taking a shit on you. The bird book snake thing. Weird arcane knowledge. Bird book snake thing. Babe, would you still love me if I were a worm? It's like, you become the worm, and then you're like, oh, I don't care about any of that, because I'm eating compost. Like, you're turning this shit into nourishment. That's so funny. That's so funny. Huh. T and N. So, yeah. We get to like crawl up through the dirt, and then we have our wings so we can like friggin' crawl out of the dirt and then fly around and be our weird looking selves, and people are like, what the fuck is that? And you're like, it's me. Guess what? It's me. I was hiding in the dirt all along and you didn't see me, but now I'm gonna be seen, motherfucker. Witness me. Behold. I am here. It's gonna be so good. Oh, I'm so excited. And there's gonna be so much learning. Oh, it's gonna be so good. Oh, I really hope. This is why, right? This is why we don't need to hide in the dirt anymore. It's like, excuse me. Frigging, you can't bury your old self and keep it with you, because then you're just burying yourself, right? Like, your current self. Like, you can't hold on to that piece that you're letting go, because then you get buried, and you're like, and then you're kind of fucked, and then you gotta dig your way out, and that's no fun. That's no fun. Well, we don't like that. We don't want to do that. So, instead, we're trying new things. And instead, we're getting our hands dirty, and we're not playing the victim. And we are taking accountability for our choices and our lives and our decisions, and we're not blaming it on other people. And we're not giving our power over to other people. I saw 2233. It's all about that change. We are getting that change. It's a chariot year, 2023. It's a 7 year. We're like learning. We're learning about our spirituality. We're learning about like the power that is within and around us, and then we are embodying it and moving forward with it. Like, we are making it physical. We are making it real. We forged that new path back in 2022, right? We were like, okay, this is the path I'm taking. Now take it. Don't retread on that path. You know what's over there. Go somewhere new. 2332, okay? Go somewhere fucking new. Try to do something different. We're doing a great job. You're doing so good. I know I'm like a little mean. I know I'm a little mean in these podcasts and these readings. But that's just how it is. And this is how I receive messages. This is how like I need to hear it for myself, is very adamantly and real, and so that's just how I read it. That's just me. I'm just showing up as myself. I'm not going to apologize for showing up as myself, and you shouldn't either. Are you causing harm? No? Then you're good. Don't worry about it. And also, oh my god, 2424. Okay, also, maybe look at like what is actually causing harm. Like, does you having boundaries cause harm? No, actually it doesn't. Do you need to show up for other people when you can't even show up for yourself? No, you don't. It's okay to ask for help when you can't show up for yourself. And sometimes, yeah, sometimes it's good to help other people when you're having a hard time, and that is helpful to you. But other times, you need to know when it's you who needs help. That's just how it is. And you're not hurting anybody. I'm also, like, with this Nine of Pentacles, I'm like, are you lifting with your back? Are you lifting things that are too heavy for you? Do you maybe need to ask for help? Lifting and carrying some shit, right? Like, I know that I just was talking about not carrying other people's baggage. And that's true. Like, you don't need to carry it. You don't need to take that on. But sometimes we can help each other. Sometimes we can say, like, hey, that baggage looks pretty heavy. Like, let me help you carry it. Not forever. You're not taking it from them entirely. You're just giving them a little bit of assistance. And sometimes we need to recognize when our baggage is too fucking heavy and we need a little help carrying it. Instead of having fucking heavy ass baggage and then being like, oh, you have some baggage too? I'll carry that for you. No worries, it's fine. My back is fine. It's not. Get a massage. Take a break. Do some stretches. Get some exercise that doesn't hurt you. That's funny. Get some exercise that doesn't hurt you. That also, like, applies to making mistakes and, like, challenging yourself. It all comes back around. It all comes back around. It's gonna be a good season. We can take this for, like, the next 6 months, basically, until the Leo new moon in Leo season, like July or August. I don't know when the Leo new moon is, but yeah, for the next 6 months. This is kind of like the shit we're on. And it's gonna take some time. It's not gonna happen all at once. Like, drawing a boundary isn't something that's one and done. I know I've said this before. Drawing a boundary isn't something that's like one and done, because people will cross that boundary. People will forget where that boundary is. People will try to claim your space as their own, and you need to be like, hey, no, this is the boundary. And then sometimes you're gonna want to cross that boundary, and you have to be like, remind yourself, like, hey, nope, this is the boundary, remember? And, like, this is what feels good, and this is what is good for me, and I don't need to go back on those old behaviors, because it doesn't serve me. It feels shitty. It feels pointless. It's only gratifying for like a day or two. Maybe. Is it worth it? No. Let me work it. Right? I don't know. Okay. Now I'm just talking. Okay. I love you. Good luck. You're doing a great job. Okay, bye.